Let's have a big Hollywood headliners welcome, John, from Meeghan Holaway.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello, Meeghan.
Hello.
How does a Seattle girl get into acting?
Oh, I was born wanting to do it. So
Seriously?
Really, from the time I was little. And my father lived down here in Los Angeles, so my mom took me to every movie that was opening, new movie, and when I came down here, my father took me to every old movie.
A lot of the things that you have done have been guest shots, so you've been on like one at a time. Explain to folks that when you go on as a guest actor, I mean, you're really not part of the regular gang there. What's it like when you come onto the lot and you're going to be a one-shot only during that week?
Yeah, I tell you what, it's tough. I always tell people it's like jumping on a moving train because it's almost like going to a new school. Everybody has their friends and they all know which table they eat at and all that kind of thing. I've been lucky enough to have recurring so that they start to get used to you and you get a little... But when you're just doing one... it's kind of like the same skill of just going to a party when you don't know too many people. You got to just kind of brazen it out and pound weights.
How do you get ready for an audition?
It's such a difficult question. I've done it for so long. It's a little bit like remembering how I learned to ski. I just make sure that I know the material backward and forward. And then lately, over the past few years, my real success has come with just letting it be in the room. I actually respond. I think in the early days, I planned out what I was going to do. And I felt like I did a good job if I did what I planned. These days, I don't plan it. I know who I am. I know what the scene's about. I know what I'm supposed to say. And then I really try to connect with the person I'm talking to so that something happens that maybe I don't expect in the room. And then I think it's much more interesting and it's been more successful.
Are you typecast in any way?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so what happens? So do they call you and say, well, we need a lawyer.
Yeah.
Send Meeghan over.
Yep. A lot of times in TV especially, I end up being, professionals, CEOs, lawyers, things like that, which is great. Lucky me. I mean, there's...
Would you want to change that? I mean, and how would you change that if you could?
Well, it's tricky because I did so much theater that I feel like I'm capable. I've done farce. I've done a lot more comedy than I tend to get cast in. Like I said, I've played a lot darker characters than but TV is much more like we're looking at your face and your face says this to us. So that's
a
what
real
we want to see.
It's a visual thing.
Until you get, all of us, I think, who are working actors are just constantly striving to get the opportunity to break out of the box so somebody goes, oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, right.
And then they start to let you do that. So it's just always that struggle.
And can your agent help with that, or is it they just want to really kind of get you booked?
Well, they really want to get you booked, and I adore my agents, and they will do everything in their power they know what I can do, and they will do everything in their power to convince people. But it's tricky here when you got 1,500 people who are sending in submissions, and 10 of them look exactly like what you want, and somebody calls and says, no, I know she doesn't look like what you want, but trust me, she can do it.
Right.
They're like,
right.
Thanks a lot. I don't have time for that.
The business is really more comfortable when it doesn't have to go out of the box.
It would really
at all levels in this business.
Think about
executive level. Yeah, they just want to look. This is our thing. Just fill the thing. Eric, I'm sure you found that too.
The executive has a problem to solve, and when you walk in, they don't want to hear all the variety of things you can do. They just say, "Oh, she could play the lawyer."
Yeah.
Yep. They've just got a checklist of things they've got to solve today.
Mm-hmm. And in a lot of ways, I know early on, because I'd done theater, I had a lot of things I could do. It actually, I think, hurt me because they were like,
what are you?
I don't know.
Yeah, who is this gal?
Yeah,
right.
You can be this, you could be that, I don't know.
Just some quick casting advice, because you do some casting.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing you can do in front of your casting director?
Oh, there are just so many ways you can go
Other
wrong.
than make bodily noises.
Yeah, that's never good. Well, actually, I can tell you, the worst thing you can possibly do is be unprepared, because then why are you wasting my time? If you're unprepared, you're done.
And when you walk into the casting session, should you chit-chat? Is it time for small talk before you do the thing? What do you recommend?
I really recommend a couple of things. One is I always take my cue from the casting director. If they're like, hey, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long. Even then, even if they initiate it, I try to keep it to a minimum, because the last thing you want to be is like, oh my God, I love your hair, and then have to be a rape victim. Like, that's horrible. So I tend to keep it, I want to be polite, but at the same time, I save it for after. Then if they want to chat with me, that's good. So very, very polite, hello. And the other big thing I learned a few years ago, and it made a world of difference, is move the furniture. Do it. Take possession of the room. You know, I used to walk into a room, and if there was a chair sitting in the middle, I would think I had practiced my scene standing up, and then I would see the chair, and I would think, oh, they want me to sit down. And I would sit down, and it would kill me.
Oh, wow.
And then I learned, you know what? I'm here to do what I'm doing for you. So I'm going to move the chair, or I'm going to pull a chair over, you know.
Meeghan, I wish we could go on and on and on. Thank you very much
This
for
was so
coming
much
down
fun.
and being a part of Hollywood Headliners.
Thank you very much.
Really good advice.